Okay, I'm just waiting for the recording to get ready. Okay, so the session has been recorded. Thank you everybody for being here. Like I said, I'm very, very excited about this session. I mean, learning about Google is always something that we are looking forward to. I'm just going to be the host for today. I'm just going to give the floor to Muhammad. Muhammad is going to be the moderator today. He is going to be asking questions, and I'm going to just go over the entire session with Ahmed. Okay, so Muhammad, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Norita. Thank you very much. I am very happy today to introduce Ahmed. So what I did, because as you know, maybe 1 hour is not enough for today, so I shared his profile on LinkedIn, so you can have a look. So please join me in welcoming Ahmed to this insightful session. So, Ahmed, thank you for joining us. Ahmed, you have 1 minute or 2 minutes. Would you like to say something first before we start?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, everyone, for making the time for the session. I hope that we make it as insightful as possible, as engaging as possible as well. My name is Ahmed Abdelkhalek, and I'm actually a customer engineer, part of the Google Cloud team based in Dubai. I've told Dr. Muhammad and Dr. Narita that education in general to me is very close to my heart. During the course of 15 years, I've worked with a lot of universities, a lot of schools in Egypt, in Jordan, in the UAE, and in different countries across the region. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to help professors and teachers and students at the same time to be as engaging as possible, whether you're physically available within the campus or you're virtually on different Google technologies. So the objective really was to bring everyone together in a more engaging and collaborative environment. Objective of today is we're gonna show you a couple of tips and tricks around how can we make your life easier, not only from an operation perspective where you manage your own tasks, you manage your own operations, but also how to make sure that students are engaging and have this collaboration or collaborative, feel within the class itself. So again, happy to be here. Pleasure meeting everyone. And back to you, Dr. Muhammad.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. So I will try, Ahmed, to be very brief. I formulate some of the questions, and I will provide you with keywords, and then I will let you take the time, explain and show us, demonstrate to us how can we learn from you. So Ahmed, my first question is without context. So what is the top challenge in virtual learning environments? So my keywords are control, logistics, and practical experience. Thank you, Ahmed.
Absolutely. Thanks, Doctor. So this is a question that we get normally, not only from professors and teachers, but also from business users across different companies and organizations. And what we're trying to do is, and really the challenges that we've heard or we've captured from different individuals is, number one is control or moderation. How do you make sure that you're on top of the class virtually? How do you make sure that the students within a class are really focused? I mean, I've been a student. We're all been students before, and some students will be really focusing on the content that's been delivered within a classroom, even on campus, not necessarily virtual. And other students will be, attending classes just for, either attendance or participation or exams, etc. So how do we make sure that we involve students within the session itself, given that on-campus professors had more control on students in a way, where you are in the same room and there's always a lot of different ways in order to manage that. So that's one thing that is really important, control. And the second is collaboration. Collaboration is usually not the easiest because on campus you'd have your office hours. Students would visit your offices or your classes to ask questions and to raise certain thoughts and so on. And to have this environment of collaboration and communication this is very important. What's more important is to maintain it and to make it very consistent. So the different tools that we're going to show today will allow you to be in more control of the classroom itself virtually. It will allow you to communicate better, and also will allow you to collaborate more with students and be more engaging. And that's the whole objective. Content is something that you fully you fully can control and you have in your hands, and you are the stars of the content. But then you need all the necessary tools to make sure that content is delivered in the right way, or in a proper manner from an operations perspective. So that's for the top challenges. I think, Doctor, let's go through the questions and answers, and then I'll try to involve all of these within the demonstration that I'll do across the different products. You're on mute, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. So I have another question. By the way, the term control was actually introduced by Dr. Zaki in one of her contributions. I think last spring, she was talking about the challenges we are facing as faculty when it comes to how we control this online environment. But my second question actually is about how can we capitalize on technology to compensate for the absence of our physical presence. So the keywords here are collaboration. Which tools can we use to enhance collaboration, participation, and engagement?
Absolutely.
So that's my second question.
Yeah. So engagement, I think for that specific question, engagement is very important. And as I said, not everyone is comfortable engaging virtually. People are more comfortable to engage face-to-face. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring or to use different tools and technologies that we're going to show you today that will increase engagement and make it as real as a physical engagement. One of the examples of one of the things that you can think of is if you create focus groups, for example, within your classes, in order to think about an idea or to work on some proof of an idea that could capitalize into a practical experience. Within Google Meet, for example, the piece of technology that we're meeting on today, you can create something called Breakout Rooms. And Breakout Rooms will actually allow you to split the class into different rooms, and you have control, and you can join every single room and listen into what students are discussing within those groups. It doesn't have to be specifically about an assignment, but it could be you raise a question in a class and you want to understand how students perceive that question and what are their thoughts accordingly. And having that in a group discussion will make students more engaging. They collaborate more together in the classroom itself. And at the same time, you can listen in every breakout room without students interrupting each other in order to share your thoughts as well and to understand more how they think about that specific subject. So I think this is very, very important, and one of the I think pieces of technologies or features or capabilities that are available. Other things that we're going to bring in as well within Google Meet that should be also part of your suite is what we call as Q&A. So you can really students can raise questions and answers in a very organized manner through Google Meet, and you as a professor, you'll be able to answer them either within the classroom itself or probably after, share these thoughts or share the answers of those questions after the class. And then we're also announcing, and we're adding something called polls. So you can create a poll within a meeting conference. And with that polls, everything is consolidated into a Google Sheet, which is saved into your Google Drive based on that meeting ID or based on that the breakout rooms that you've created for students. So these are all different technology pieces that can really bring together an engaging environment and a collaborative environment as well. I think the most important factor is how easy it is to use those tools. There are a lot of tools, tons of tools out there, but then what is the easiest tool that you can really utilize the capabilities of it within a classroom? And these are the things that we're gonna show you today and walk you through today. And I'm glad for everyone who filled in the feedback form. The responses that we've seen really align to what we're going to discuss today. We're going to focus really on a couple of points that match the questions that Dr. Muhammad was asking, and the different keywords of collaboration, control, communication, engagement. We're going to see all of these capabilities in the demonstration in a bit. Back to you, Doctor.
Okay, so I actually thank you for this elaboration. So now, since we talked about the concept of control, engagement, participation, I would like to have a third question. Maybe, and this is my last question, because after my question, I would like you to show us some of the demonstrations so that my colleagues can also have their own questions. Okay, so
Sure.
my third question is actually about what is the one factor that impacts the efficiency of delivering a class on campus versus online. So my keywords here are I'm thinking in Iqbal Ahmed's famous concept about connectivity leads to productivity. So connectivity, productivity. And this is really key for my students. I'm not going to take now the time, but today I had one session with my students, and I realized that I have problems when it comes to time management with my students, because I give them an assignment and they came to me back, we need you to extend the deadline. So connectivity, productivity, and time management. How can we use these tools to help our students manage their time? And thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, I think managing time is one of the main challenges. If I think of one thing that really would impact an efficiency of delivering a class on campus versus online, is managing our time. And the reason why, again, things are connected, right? So I think the reason why time management is very difficult is because, first of all, you get introduced to different tools that you're not aware of. And you consume a lot of time in logistics. You consume a lot of time in feedback. How do you give feedback to all your students at the same time while you don't want to waste the time of your class, right? You have content to deliver within that specific hour or that specific hour and a half. So how do you make sure that you respond and you give feedback to your students in a very timely manner, and at the same time manage your time within, whether it's office hours, whether during the class, or even during assignments? So what are the different tools that can help you do that? So we're going to showcase that. We're going to try to solve this problem. Staying connected is also something that is very important, because if within a class we discuss about some content, then you don't have to really share different ideas and content over or within the class itself. You can actually, within a platform or within a single announcement page, you can start sharing ideas and students can collaborate on those ideas on the fly. And that's what's very important. The real-time collaboration and the real-time engagement, what really creates that bond between the professors and students. And this is something that you know better than tech companies like us do. But then what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you the right tools and the right piece of technologies in order to make sure that your process is smooth and your logistics is smooth, given the challenges that you have virtually versus your physical presence on campus. So being that the last question, I want to start. So can everyone see my screen? Yeah, perfect. All right. I want to start with two things. Number one is, which is I think something that we all suffer from. We'll start. What I want to start with. I want to start with your own task management, and the number one, I think, technology that is that could be helpful, but at the same time very hard to manage is your emails, right? So if you have issues or troubles usually managing emails and being on top of your emails, that's something, or what I'm going to show you now is something that can really help you organize your emails. And I'm not going to really deep dive into the details, but I want to just introduce a concept when it comes to emails in specific, which is called a zero inbox concept. Has anyone heard of the zero inbox concept before? No? Yes? No? Okay. So if you've heard of it, please +1 in the chat. If not, then I'll showcase that to you. So the concept of zero inbox is basically around minimizing the number of unactioned emails or unactioned items within your mailbox itself. I'm going to quickly give you a sneak peek of my own mailbox just to show you where you can reach or what you can achieve. Can you see my Gmail screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. So one of the things, zero inbox means that you minimize the number of unactioned emails in your inbox to the minimum, right? So you minimize it. And for me, for example, today, thankfully, I have only 2 unactioned emails. And that's something that you don't you rarely see within an inbox of an individual. But then there are tools inside Gmail that can help you manage your emails more efficiently. So the concept of zero inbox is having 2 rules. One rule is you need to take an action of, we're going to solve that, May. You need to take an action on the email itself in less than 2 minutes. So that is rule number 1, and that's the only rule. That action could be many things. That action could be reading the email, right? And then you're done with it. Second thing is, don't add your emails to tasks. Because if you add your emails to tasks, then all your emails becomes in your list of tasks, right? Make sure that you use something called snoozing an email. So when you snooze an email in Gmail, it disappears from your mailbox, and you set a date to that snooze. So let's say, for example, I go to this mailbox, I go to this email, I select it. I know that I don't have time for it. I know it's a newsletter. All I'll do is I'll snooze this email. And I'll snooze this email for tomorrow at 8 a.m., or I can pick my own date and time. So 8 a.m. tomorrow, perfect, save, and it disappears from my mailbox. The 2 becomes 1. So snoozing is very cool, right? Now, if you want to, once the due date of the snoozing once the due date comes, it will automatically pop up on top of your inbox. So you don't need to go and look for it. But then if you want to look at or action that specific snoozed email before the due date, you'll have a folder here on the left called snoozed, right? And this is where you're going to find all your snoozed emails. So snoozing email is 1. Second is deleting it. If you're a kind of person that deletes emails once they're done or if they're not important, you can delete it. Archive it. Archiving in Google means that you don't add a label to an email. It becomes an orphaned email. So it still exists within your mailbox, but then it doesn't show up in any of your folders, and which is called archiving. So all these are certain rules, very easy rules that can help you organize your emails. My favorite is what we call as Gmail labels. And if I just expand everything else, this is how my email looks like, right? So I use labels extensively because labels, I train my brain on these color codes. So I know that anything that is blue, that means this email is directed to me. I'm in the to field. Anything that is green, that is internal. So there's someone internal on this email thread. No, there's no limit in the number of labels. If I see a yellow, I know that there's a partner involved. If I see red, that means that's a solutions, and that's related to something called SAP. If it's purple, that's another solution. It's called G Suite, and so on and so forth. So you can create labels and create rules. So automatically, every email that comes in will take that specific label, right? And once you get used to it, your brain gets used to all the color codes, and you know what is the subject. And almost what is the content of this email without even opening it. And having those, this will make you take an action on that email in less than 2 minutes, right? Another cool feature is I want to have a meeting with this person, right? So instead of going to calendar.google.com and creating a meeting and adding participants, if I open Calendar from the right companion side and I click on create an event, it automatically picks up the subject of the email without me typing anything. That is something that, again, makes it easier for you. And when I go to guests, it will suggest to me, it will suggest the 2 people in that email. And when I choose it, it will automatically add them in the calendar invite list. Now, if I want to see if these are internal individuals, I want to see if they're available at that time. So I can just click on this, collapse this window. It shows their calendars and my calendars together so that I can pick the exact right time for my colleagues to attend the meeting. So these are, again, some of the tips and tricks on your personal efficiency and your personal productivity. And then you have here Google Keep, which is notes taking, and then you have Google Tasks and so on. So that's a very quick brief on emails. There's a lot more to do on emails, such as offline access. So if you don't have internet, can you really access your emails offline without using Outlook, without using any client? Yes, you can. If you go to the settings of your email, you should find in See All settings something called offline access. There you go. All you need to do is switch it on. Now, it really depends on whether your organization or the administration of AOS has allowed offline access or not. But then if you don't find it, that means we can look into it. We can speak with IT and have that discussion. If it's enabled, then you'll find this checkbox, enable it, and then you can choose any of these 2 options. And sorry, Dr. Mohammed or Dr. Narita, do we have anyone from IT on the call? No?
No.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
But Ahmed, there's a question.
Yes.
Would you like to answer this question, please? From Dr. Mohammed Abdul.
Are archived email deleted automatically after a certain time? No. Archived emails will always stay in your mailbox until you explicitly go and delete them.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. May you have a big problem with calendar?
Yeah, sorry for just imposing this question, but I'm an Apple user. And Apple, of course, is not the most collaborative of tools or of companies, for that matter. Is there any way you can sync your Google Calendar with the Apple Calendar, the Mac Calendar?
Yes, you can. So there's a way of doing. I mean, I'll take a note of that, and then I can share with you how to do it. Right, the step-by-step guide.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Calendar with Apple. All right. So if you enable offline, that means you'll be able to access your emails offline even if you don't have internet, right? So there's a lot more tips and tricks in emails, but I don't want to spend all the time in emails, right? There are things like Smart Compose. There's stuff called confidential mode, where you can send an email and set an expiry date for that email so it disappears from the recipient's mailbox. There's a lot of very cool stuff there inside email. Can you please show us how to see all your labels together in your inbox? Okay, if I got this question right, Raja, one thing that you need to do in the settings of your label, make sure that, so if I go to this label, for example, I have all my labels. So once you create a label, it's created on the left side of as if it's a folder, but it's a virtual one. And then if you look at the more settings here, in order to make sure that all your labels come in your inbox, you need to make sure that you check this box. Let me show you. Create filter. You need to make sure while you create the filter that you don't skip the inbox. If you skip the option inbox, if you check this box, then the label that you create or the emails that are relevant to that label you're not going to see them inside your inbox. So in order to see your email, all your emails in your inbox, but having those labels on them, you need to make sure that this is unchecked, right? So keep it unchecked. And if you want to apply the same filter or the same rules to existing conversations, make sure that you check the box of also apply filter to matching conversations. Does that answer your question, Roger? Perfect. All right. So that's for emails. I don't want to talk more about emails because I need to manage my time as well. Let me stop presenting this screen, and I will start presenting another screen. So, all right, perfect. So now let's get into, so we spoke about email, we spoke a little bit about calendar. Let's get into collaboration and communication, right? Let's get into how do you make sense of data that you have? How do you make sure that your students have the right tools as well, right? So I'll start with Google Classroom. And Google Classroom is core to education from a Google for Education perspective. Because one thing that not everyone knows is usually products that are built within a technology company is built by engineering teams and designed by engineering teams. Obviously, there are UI, UX designers, et cetera, et cetera. But when we thought of Classroom and the way Classroom was built by teachers and students. So the look and feel of Classroom and the process and how you create it and what do you want to see inside Google Classroom is something that we created based on feedback and surveying with a lot of teachers and students. So Classroom is not based on engineering minds, it's actually based on educators and students, and that's why it's being very helpful within the education sector. So I have here, just to explain to you the demonstration, I have here two users. I have this user, which is a teacher, that will demonstrate a teacher, and then I have another user, which is here, and that will demonstrate a student. Okay? So I'll give you both the perspective of the teacher, of the professor, and the perspective of the student. So, sorry, that's the wrong window. All right, so let's go to the teacher's perspective. So when you go to classroom.google.com, you have classes, the calendar of the classroom, or the class or the subject, or a specific class. You have things that you need to review. So if there are assignments that you need to mark, or if there are any grades that you need to submit. Yes, you do have Google Classroom available for AUS, Hussam, Dr. Hussam. Absolutely. And then you have your classes here, and then you have some settings. So if I go to class, I have an existing class, but I'll actually walk you through the process of creating a class, inviting a student, and so on. So I'll create a class, and I'll call that AOS demo. If it didn't let you in, it could be an administrator setting, or it could be something in the account that you're trying to log in. Yes, check with your admin. Yeah. So it could be an administrator setting. So that's going to be my class name, section B. Subject is science. And then room, I'll say virtual hall 2. Right? And then I'll create this. I'm not sure if I'm in the right position to answer this question. Dr. Narita, do you want to? You're on mute, doctor.
I'm not sure if David or Nabil is here because I invited them over so that they can give the right answer to us. If not, I will check with them.
All right. Thanks, doctor. So once I create a class, I can invite students in multiple ways. Either I can send invites from the class itself once it's created. Usually So now I have the class created. I can invite students to the class, and then I can also generate a Google Meet link specific for the classroom. So every time we're we're conducting this class, this meeting link is retained. So I'll generate this link, generate meeting link, and it's going to be visible to students, and I save. So all the students need to do before the class, they just go to the class and then click on the link. You'll find the professor there and the teacher there. That's one. Two, here is where we talked about communication. Here is where we talked about engaging. How do you make sure you engage with your students all the time? Using this stream, you can share something with the class. You can share ideas. You can share videos. You can share documentation. You can share different concepts. You can start that conversation over the classroom wall. Now, the good thing is, from a student's perspective, students do everything over their phone, right? Through their phone, social media, whatever it is, games, everything is through their phone. Classroom could be one of those tools that they can, as easy as, posting something on Instagram and then jumping to the classroom and posting something else in the classroom, which is relevant to, obviously, the subject of the class itself. You can also disable students from sharing posts. So what I'll do is I will invite a student. So I can go to, so that's the name, everything is there. So that's the class code. So I can copy this and copy the invitation link to my student. Or if I go to people, I can actually add here my students. Okay, and this is the student for me. So I invited the student. Now, as a student, I'll go to my screen and I get an email that, dear Ahmed, Dr. X is inviting you. I join. And then the best part is, as a professor or as a teacher, Google Drive automatically creates a folder for you called Classroom. And then it automatically creates a folder for you based on the classrooms that you have. When I go there, and what you're going to see in the demo is every asset that you create inside that classroom is automatically stored for you within a single folder, which helps you to manage your time, which helps you to be more productive and more efficient, because you don't need to go around and try to make sure that everything is in the same place or doing it manually. So here is the student accepted. I can email the student if I want. I can take certain actions by removing the student or muting the student. So muting the students means I don't want the student to interact in any posts or in any way. Going back to the stream, I can say, so here's two things. And that's one of the things that can manage your time and efficiency. I can post something for both classes from the same place, right? So I don't have to go to class A and class B and then post something here, then post something there. So from one window, from one place, I can do that. Or I can just post it to the specific class. I can share something privately with a single student if I want, with 2 students, with 3 students, with 4 students, or with everyone in the class. So here I can share a class, dear, let's say, hello, dears, welcome to semester 2 science class, right? I can add a Google Drive, I can add a link, file, YouTube, I can add a YouTube video, something that's encouraging, something that creates excitement for the class, what could be discussed, what are we looking forward to in this class, and so on and so forth. A talk, for example, if it's a business class, then you can add a video of a talk of one of Steve Jobs' talks, one of some of the great speakers in the world, right? Talking about business in general. So this is how you keep in communication with your students. And then that's even much exciting for me, because you can post right away, or you can schedule this post. So think of it this way. Before the semester starts, you can actually schedule everything. You can schedule assignments, you can schedule posts, you can schedule everything and just leave it there. And all you focus on during the semester is actually delivering the content within that specific virtual class. Doing that, you manage all your time during a virtual class. You make sure that you communicate everything in the right time, and you make sure that you're also efficient and productive, right? And not have more than 50 emails on your mailbox that are not actioned. So it's going to give you more time and more space to do things differently. because you have these tools that are as easy as this. So I'm going to schedule this announcement. Actually, I'm just going to post it right away. Or you can save it as a draft as well, right? So I post the announcement. I go to the student, and this is the AES demo subject. Welcome to semester 2 class. Thank you, doctor. And then I can tag people in comments. So I can add a comment and tag a specific student, tag the professor himself or herself, and so on, right? And the good thing, again, from a student perspective, you can use the plus, the @ sign to mention, like you do in Facebook posts, like you do in Instagram posts. So it brings that, we say it, from the couch comfy experience to actually, either teaching or studying or even working in a business environment. And then I'll jump right away into, let's say, so people, we said that Marks will look at it later. But then what I want to actually do is I want to create an assignment. So in order for me to create an assignment, what I'll do is I'll choose a template, and that template would be, let's go here. Sorry, just 1 second. Let me take this assignment. Let me go to the other class. Sorry about that. All right. So basically, what I can do is you can create an assignment. The way you create an assignment is if I go to this class, and then I'll go to classroom, this one, the one that we created. I'll just go there, and I'll look for a document that could be used as a template for that specific assignment. And that template is going to be something like this. So I go to docs.google.com. I'll use a report, right? So I'm going to use this report as an assignment. So that's the one. I'll name it report AUS demo B. And that document is not in any folder or anywhere. Then I go to the class, and I want to create an assignment. So I go to classwork. I can, first of all, initiate Google Meet from the classwork. I can go to the Google Calendar of the class. So every class created has a separate Google Calendar. And then I can do the class drive folder, which is the drive folder that's created from it. So I can access everything from here. What I want to do is I want to create an assignment. I can create an assignment. I can create a quiz assignment. I can create a question. I can create material. Or I can create or reuse posts that I've posted earlier. Or I can even create a topic. So open a topic for discussion. So I'll go and create a normal assignment. This assignment is going to be assignment 1, semester 1, report A. Okay? And then this is what's really interesting. So I can create, again, assignments for different classes or for the same class, for all students or specific students. I can put points to mark it for my reference. So I can say unmarked or 100 points or 6 points or 10 points. So I'll complete 100 points. I can put the due date for that assignment. So the due date for that assignment is on the 26th. I can put a time specific, or that's something that's optional. I can create a topic related to that assignment. I can even create a rubric, right? So I can create a rubric, and I can use that rubric in order to mark your students' assignments. You can give weights to different content based on the report or based on the assignment itself, and then you can have multiple points based on the. You can have a title for that rubric and a description for it as well. You can add different criteria based on how you want to build that rubrics for your use. So I'm not going to use a rubric here. And then I will add a Google Drive document. Remember the report AUS demo that I created? I created this document as a template. I inserted here. Another very interesting thing is that you make a copy for each student. So when you send out an assignment, it automatically creates a copy of that document for every student. So the title will have the name of the document and also the name of the student. So I'll make a copy for each student. And I'll also add a YouTube video saying Google. All right, so let me just add any video. Okay. Google for education. All right, so I'll add anything here. And then add. So that's a video as well that's going to be shared. And then I can schedule the assignment. I can assign it directly. I can save it as a draft to schedule it later, and then click on assign. All right. Now, I have one assignment, right? And if I look here, these are the assignments, documents, or attachments. 0 handed in, and I've assigned this to 1. When I click on view assignment, it gives me, I can here put the marks and of the assignment that I received. What I'll do is I'll go to the student, and the student here receives upcoming assignment due on this. Click on the notification. It takes me to, I can talk to my teacher through private comments. So I can talk to my professor through private comments here on this page. I can add or create something to my work, more data or more documents. I can hand in from here. Before I hand in, I really want to go here and do my assignment. So course name, I'll just randomly AK report 1. Okay, all is good. All right. One thing that I want to look at from also a teacher's perspective here is this. See this checkbox? This checkbox will automatically check for plagiarism, right? So if I check this box, I want continue and save. So as a student, let me go back here, refresh this page, close this. See originality report. So once I finish my work, so I opened this document, I started working on it as a student. So that's my assignment. I'm all done, all clean, and then all I do is turn it in. But before I turn it in, I can actually check my originality reports. I can run a report where it's going to tell me, see here, running originality report. It's going to tell me whether I have 0 plagiarism or if there are any matches found. So I have no matches found. If there are any matches found, then I'll be able to click on this, and that's going to show me what are the different matches in my report that I need to change. Okay? All right, all good. Before I actually turn it in, I really want to ask something I want to ask my teacher something. So I can say here, comment, and say, mention my teacher, my professor. Hello, doctor. I need some insights, please. And I assign it to my professor. And then I assign or a comment. Either way works. Then as a teacher or as a professor, I'll receive a notification on my email. Once I receive it on my email, what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to get that, to get on the next document. So easily, I'll just open this here. Sorry, this is not the document. There's another document. So the comment takes a while. So just for the sake of time.
Ahmed?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. We
No
still have, say, 5 minutes. We have one question, and then maybe we can let our colleagues to have questions.
Sure.
So there is one question from Dr. Awad. If you don't mind, I will. So it's about how do we color our labels?
Yeah.
Please.
All right. Sure.
And
Can you
then,
give me
if you have
4
any,
minutes?
please welcome.
4 minutes. 4 minutes. I'll wrap up this point, and then I'll jump into the questions. Just 4 minutes.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right. So what I can do is I get the comment from my student. I can do two things. I can respond to here, or if I want to keep the engagement ongoing and live, on the document itself, I can start chatting. Hello, AK. Good question. And then I can do multiple things. Here I can answer the question right away, or I can send the student my calendar appointment slots where I'm available, right? So in my Google Calendar, what I can do is I can create calendar slots or appointment slots. When I create appointment slots, here, so the appointment slots, I can say every week on Thursday, 2:15 to 3:15 is like your office hours, right? And the location is obviously in the cloud, right? Or virtually. And then you save that. Once you save it, you can actually share the appointment slot page for this calendar. So I'll take this calendar, copy, and I'll actually send it to the student. Good question, pick a slot, and let's discuss. There you go. Then as a student, I'll go there to the document. Where's the document? Is this the same document? All right, so just again, for the sake of time, I'll take this link, copy, and then I'll paste it here. This is the student. Paste and go. I'll see all the available. So there are no appointment slots available in this time range. Next available appointment slot is on this date. I click on it, and then I choose this. I save it. I can add a description here. Save. Done. Book. That's the appointment has been saved. Me as a teacher, as a professor, if I go to my calendar, I know that next Thursday I have an appointment booked from this person, right? Regarding this class, for whatever description, it automatically generates a meeting link so we can meet right away. So all these are things that are, again, well put together, well integrated. A student can go and turn in their assignment. So if the student comes here, and that's the last thing, turn in the assignment. Once the assignment is turned in, hand in. As a teacher, as a professor, in classroom, just to refresh. Doesn't regularly require refresh, but see if anything is missing here. Submit, everything is submitted. I want to check if it's the same class or a different class. So you should get notifications with all of these. So the submission, everything should be there. So if I look at the report here, now I know, okay, so this is the submission of this student, right? Here, that's the student. I can filter, so I can have multiple submissions. Now I can do grading, so I can put my mark here. I'll give this 90 out of 100. I can also add comments. And those comments, I can save them to a bank where I can use those comments later on in other assignments. Okay? And then I return the assignment, marked, all good, student, fresh. That's a different subject. Let me go to this subject. Let me go to classwork. All right, and it's marked. If I open it, I should be able to see my grades. View your work. There you go. So I see it 90 out of 100. So again, this is where you can create the synergy between students. This is how you can manage things in the class. So that is Classroom. There's a lot more in Classroom that we can talk about, but again, we're very tight in time. one last thing that I want to show in Google Sheets. That's the last thing. And that is what we call as explore. Let's say you have raw data like this, columns and rows. And you're really thinking of how can I build some dashboards and some analysis of this raw data. Now, there's one feature in Google Sheets called Explore at the bottom right. When I click on Explore, it gives you a couple of things. First of all, it suggests pivot tables, analysis, charts, etc. But what it can actually do is I can ask questions to the sheet about the data, and it gives me reports and answers. So if I say, how many recipients with label inbox. So what it did is it calculated. See, you can even have see the formula. So give me 5. So there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 5 recipients with label inbox. So what it did, it automatically give you the answer. So you ask the question, and this is where we apply natural language processing or natural language understanding in this piece of technology, right? And if I want to just go with the dashboards here, oh, this is a pivot table. Cool. Let me see. Makes sense. Insert. In a new sheet, yes. And so on, right? So it just keeps the flow, right? Your mind doesn't stop. Every action you want to take, just take it, and you'll find it there. And with that, I hope I covered most of the things that I want to cover today. I think I did. The last thing, I know there's always the last thing, but this is very cool for students and for professors who are either doing research, right, or writing essays. So if I want to, let's say Google Cloud, if I want to reference this to a resource that I got the information from, I can right-click, explore, web. I want to use this. Now, do you want MLA formatting for citation? Do you want EPA or Chicago citation? If I click on MLA and then insert code, it gives the citation to the term, and it gives you the format of the citation at the bottom of the document. And I mean, I know it's sometimes surprising. This was one of the main features that were announced in 2008 with Google Docs. So it's been there for a while, and yes, no more excuses to cite resources. I'm not sure if this is good or bad, but it's a very handy piece of technology and tool that's available inside Google Documents. All right, and with that, I'll stop presenting.
Oh, thank you, Ahmed. Thank you very much for. I think you need more. We need more session, and you should promise us that you will come again. But next time, inshallah, on campus, inshallah.
Inshallah.
There are some questions. I think this one is very good. It's about how safe is to have the rubrics with grades on Google. This is very.
All right. So let me. Okay. So there was a question before that about labels. Do you want to cover first? Yeah.
No, Dr. You want?
Yes. Because that's straightforward. So, Doctor, for labels in specific.
Yes.
If I just quickly share my screen.
How do you color our labels?
How do you color them? Yeah. So it's straightforward. Once the label is created on the left, if you hover on the label, there are 3 dots. If you click on the 3 dots, you can apply the color that you want, or even add a custom color with a hexa code. So that's how you color labels. Perfect. And then we have how safe is it to have the rubrics with grades on Google? I'm not sure if I understand the question. So is it a concern from a Google perspective, or is it a concern from a public perspective? Let me answer both. Let me answer both. From a Google perspective, we have very strict controls. So even for education, not only for enterprises. So the statement is basically, we don't own your data. We don't own your data. You own your data. So we're very strict in terms of privacy. our privacy terms and our security terms are very well published. It's on the internet. I can share with you a couple of resources that states what happens from a privacy perspective or from a security perspective, from a Google standpoint. Now, how secure are you on Google? That's again a whole security discussion that takes hours, but we can assure you that your data is secure on Google, given that you have the right or the best practices in terms of managing your accounts, managing the security of your accounts, passwords, credentials, a lot of different factors. I can also share with you a couple of best practices on how do you make sure your account is secure, because what's important is to secure your account. If your account is not secure, your data is exposed. Once you secure your account, that is locked, that is privately secured with that account, and it could not be accessed unless your credentials are exposed. I hope that answers the question.
Dr. May, you have a question. Can you please unmute your micro and then, yes.
Yeah, sorry, this is about Google Docs. So I have multiple Google email accounts, all right? But when I open Google Docs from any of them, let's say the AUS one,
yeah,
I see documents from like everywhere. This is very confusing. Can you stop?
Yes, we can stop that. So let me present my screen again and show you how you can do that. So in Chrome as a browser, you use Chrome as your default browser, Dr. May, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So in Chrome, and this is what I do, by the way, right? So on this machine, I have on this laptop. Sorry, I'm used to machines. On this laptop, I have multiple accounts, right? My personal accounts, my demo accounts, and everything. In Chrome, you can create multiple people. Like this. And what does that mean? If you go to the three dots, if you go to your first letter of your name or your picture, if you have a photo there, just go click on add. When you click on add, you can add your name. See here, I have different people. So if I go to cancel, I have different people. I have this guy, I have another guy. All of these are just different Google accounts, but then they're all in different Chrome browsers. So it's as if you have 7 accounts, it's as if you have 7 Chrome browsers on your laptop. So when you open your document inside this guy, which is my personal account, I'll only see the documents that are accessed by abdelkhalek3@gmail.com. I'm not sure if this is what you meant, because I think the challenge that you're having is whenever you open a document, it opens or it signs in with a different account than the one that you wanted to sign in with, right? If that's the challenge, then creating Chrome profiles is your answer. That's the solution. So number 1, try to sign out of everything, and then start clean, add profiles. For every account, add a new profile. That should solve your problem. If it doesn't, I'm reachable. Please let me know. I'll be more than happy.
I'll hunt you down and email you.
Sorry?
I'll hunt you down and email you if it doesn't.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
No, please do. No problem. You're welcome. All right.
Dr. Norita, 5 o'clock, because I think there is another meeting, and I know some people would like to join the other meeting.
Yes.
So,
Yes, absolutely. Yes, thank you so much, Muhammad. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Unfortunately, we have to end at 5 o'clock because some people have to attend another meeting. Like you said, we might have to have another session, a follow-up session on other tools, because there's so many things that we have yet to explore.
Can I just ask one final question? One final one?
Yes.
Sorry, since I'm a person who works with translation and teaches translation, is there any way to stop Google Translate for students?
No, I was going to tell you that there's a very neat translation. I think, I'm not sure if you tried it, because if you tried it and you don't like it, then it's not neat. But I'll try to. So in Google Docs, you can automatically translate the whole document. But what's different from Google Translate is it looks at the context. It doesn't look at a word by itself. So it really creates a proper translation. And be aware that when you use, so this is what I would suggest to use in terms of translation, not Google Translate or translate.google.com, not the public one, but try to use the one in documents. So in tools and Google Docs, you'll find translate document, and you will choose the language in which it will be translated.
Including Arabic.
Arabic, yes.
Oh my God, don't tell the students that, please.
Okay, sorry.
All right, thanks.
All right.
They probably know, May. You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
probably
sure they
so,
do.
absolutely. All right. So thank you, everyone. I hope it was useful. I would really love to hear your feedback and your comments after the session. We'll send out a feedback form, a very small one. Let us know what you thought about the session. If it was useful, we'll probably send out a poll on whether you'll be interested in another session and what really you want to focus on. And we'll be more than happy to support always.
Thank you, Ahmed, because this is really, really useful in terms of productivity. We need it, like surely we need it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Hopefully, we'll see you again very, very soon. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thanks. Have a great week. Bye-bye.